evening. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been on here. I've had grandkids one weekend, getting ready for a garage sale the next week, and I just kept myself pretty busy. So you're going to hear some rustling around because I'm making a wreath. So sorry about the noise. But I just wanted to get on here and tell you that I was sorry that it's been a little bit, but life happens, and I guess I'll have moments like this where I won't be on first sometime. But that's okay. So I have been thinking about my podcast and how I want to do it, because I kind of want to keep it a little different than the YouTube channel, which I haven't been on either, so but a little different than that. So I think I want to keep my YouTube channel like a support group type deal, and I think the podcast I want to just talk about things basically though, but I want to talk about the journey that I take and the dealings that I do throughout the week or whatever, with me trying to change the law so child sex offenders can't be buried with honors. And I think it would be interesting for you guys to hear what all I've done or accomplished, and not necessarily even interesting. I think if you guys hear my story and you think you really need to try this, you need to go talk to this person, you need to start this, and give me ideas, that would be so helpful. And like I am not the smartest person when it comes to what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with the flow with things, and just trying my hardest to reach the right person on this journey, and hopefully someone will hear me, understand me, and help fight for me. Or not for me, but for others. I'm not doing this for myself. I want others to never feel like I did. So anyways, that's kind of my reasoning behind all of this. So my first podcast, I kind of went through a story about what happened to me when I was 12, and how my parents my mom didn't do anything about it, but he had hurt another girl and went to prison for that act. And in that journey, when he got buried, he was buried with honors, of course, and it really pissed me off is what it did. And I started trying to reach out and find avenues to try to understand how he was buried with honors, and research laws and stuff. And sadly, he was buried with honors because in the eyes of the law, he didn't do a crime bad enough to get stripped of his honors, which I have a hard time wrapping my head around. So when Ted died, it really set me back, and I've really been working on this, and I'm not giving up. I haven't quit. I haven't backed down. I just keep on reaching out to people, and I let it go for sometimes a month or two, and then I get back to reaching out to people, because I don't necessarily want to hound people all the time, but I don't want to be forgotten either, and I want to just keep on reaching out to whoever I can. So I started reaching out to talking with Mike Dotson. I really don't know his title. I'm not very good with that kind of stuff, so I just know that he works in the Capitol building. So I really don't know his title, but Mike Dotson is who I originally started talking to, and he's very helpful, very kind, very. He stayed in touch with me for the last 2 years. He would send me little emails saying, I've talked to this person, and mainly Senator Moran, and we're working on it, we're doing this, we're doing that. But that's all I ever got for 2 years, and he kept on saying, well, it's a slow process. And I'm sure it is a slow process and hard to do, but I don't have a lot of patience, and I feel like I've been pretty patient for 2 years and not getting anywhere. So that's how I kind of see that. So I started out with him, and then I guess when I was just kind of doing it because I felt like that's what needed to be done, a couple months here or there reaching out to Mike Dodson was, it was fine with me. But then after I was contacted by so many people saying that they were victims or survivors, however you want to word that, of TEDS, I decided I needed to do this. I needed to press. I didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. The last email that I had gotten from Mike Dodson did say that someone new was working on it, and so it changed hands. After 2 years, it just changed hands, so someone else took over. And then I feel like that makes it start all over. I don't know if that's how that works, but that's what I feel like. So that discouraged me. And I decided, well, I'm going to go further than Mike Dodson. So I started contacting congressmen. I started researching congressmen and senators and people like that to find people to contact that may be helpful. And I know that he had mentioned Senator Moran several times, so that was the first office I reached out to. That office, they were, they're very helpful. I'm not going to say that they're not doing anything, because I really don't know if they are or not. They haven't been rude to me or anything like that. They're very helpful. But I feel like maybe not enough, like maybe they're not helpful enough. And I don't know if that's the right way to look at things, but that's how I kind of felt. So I started reaching out to the other senator and the congressman. I was kind of going with, if someone told me this is the person you should talk to, that is the person I reached out to. And that's how I was kind of handling that situation. And so I've talked to a lot of people. And I just really feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Honestly, that's how I feel like. So I know that I need the public's help. I need the public to say, yeah, that's wrong. And he don't need to be there, and the law needs to be changed, and petitions need to be signed. But I don't even know how to start a petition. I just learned last night about someone told me, well, you need to try the change.org or something like that. So I need to look into that and see what is there. So I want to start a petition about this and see if I can get people to sign it. I reached out to a lot of the victims that I have found on my journey, and most of them are willing to give me a statement, but not all of them. And I understand that. I don't hold that against them, because, gosh, this isn't an easy subject for anyone to talk about, and especially if you have experienced it and you're talking about your abuser. You have to be in the right mind frame, and maybe some people are just so they don't want to, or whatever the case may be, and it's fine. Maybe they just don't want nothing to do with him, and they're healed, and they've gotten over their trauma and stuff, which is great, and they just don't want to deal with it. So any reasoning of why they don't want to, I'm completely okay with and completely understand, and I'm okay with it. So I know that I need people to help me. I need other voices, not just mine. And one of the things that was suggested to me to do, actually by my husband, he's like, what you need to do is you need to go to the cemetery. And you need to contact the people that are buried by him, their family. And that is a great idea. So, but it's a hard idea, but a good idea. So I actually did go to the Winfield Cemetery a couple weeks ago and wrote down the people close that are buried close to him, and sent out Facebook messages. I researched who they were and sent out Facebook messages. I didn't get anyone to respond to those messages, so it doesn't even look like my messages has ever been opened, so I really don't know. Maybe that's not the way to go about it. I'm not really sure. But one of the families actually had a phone number on their Facebook. So I thought, I'll call them. So I actually did call that family, and it was kind of an interesting phone call. That the person that I called didn't have time to talk to me, but didn't want to not talk to me. So he actually got a hold of his brother and asked his brother to call me and listen to me. And so his brother did, and he said that the family would be willing, more than willing, to write statements and do what I would, need, and even help me find, research different avenues for me to take. And I was so blessed to actually have, I was really blessed that they were the way they, very nice and considerate. And it was an awkward phone call at first, but by the end of it, I was very comfortable talking to them. And I'm glad it went that way. So, that's part of the stuff that I did on this journey. Another thing that I was told by one of the congressman's office was, maybe I need to start at a state level. So I really wasn't sure how to do that, but I researched it and I got a hold of the state senator. Sorry, I'm really not good with these names and stuff for these people. I got a hold of the state senator and then another person in the state. I don't remember what they called him. But I got a hold of them, and I found their email, and I emailed them both basically the same email. But it was telling my story and reaching out for help. Like, can you tell me how to make a petition? Tell me how to, get all this stuff started, because I really don't have a clue how to do any of that. But I'm really willing to learn anything that I can. So I thought, well, I will do that. So I did email the state, but the senator came back saying that, it's a federal issue, which I knew that, and I even stated that in my letter, that it's a federal issue. So I just wanted help of, either information or guidance of any kind. And but in his letter, he said that maybe you should reach out to the Navy. So today I did. I found a number for the Pentagon and for the Navy, and I called them, and they put me on hold, and they had me talk to a lady in the Pentagon, and she took my information down, and I gave me her email address so I could email my story. The news segment that shows his burial, and the interview that I did with Natasha. So I did all that today, and they said that she was going to pass it on to somebody else, and they would contact me today, but I didn't hear from them. But I told them I wouldn't be available until later in the afternoon to talk to anybody. And, I don't know what time, the time difference there, or even if there is. I don't understand all that stuff. But, so maybe it just wasn't a good time for that. Maybe she'll get a hold of me tomorrow and tell me what I can do in the Navy point of view anyway. So I'm interested to see how that phone call goes. I have doubt that it goes, but that's just because I have trust issues, and but hopefully it goes, and I can learn some things and have new avenues to go down, and maybe even the Navy will back me, and maybe something will just happen. That would be pretty awesome. But another thing that the senator said, it really actually, it didn't piss me off, and I'm not going to say that it made me that mad, but I guess it didn't really set with me right. And he wasn't mean by no means, but and he's right. I am a Christian, and he did state in that email that God's the judge. And so I agree with that because I'm a Christian. And I know not everybody will have my belief, but I do believe that we're not the judge of that, and God's the judge, and I completely agree with that. But why it didn't sit with me well is I don't feel like I'm judging Ted. I don't feel like I'm doing that at all. The reason I say that is because I don't feel like I'm really terribly mad. Well, I don't have any, I guess, hatred towards him. I have a problem with him being buried there because of his act to everybody that, to everybody, but I just don't feel like it's an honorable thing, and I don't think that's a judgment call. I think that's just a feeling. I don't know what it is, but I don't think I'm judging him. I just think it's really wrong that he's buried there. And so I felt like at first I was like, I'm not judging, but I understood what he was saying. But he did help me by passing on information to me about, possibly you need to contact the Navy. And I never would have thought of that without his help. So that is what I did, was contact the Navy today, and we'll see if anything comes about it. I don't know if anything will, but hopefully the Navy will be, it was an oversight, even though it wasn't. I'd already been told by people that it definitely was not an oversight. It was, sadly, he had all rights to be there in the eyes of the military. So, and that is very sad for me to know, but that's the facts. That's what I've been told. So, anyway, so there's where I'm at with my story or my journey on this, and hopefully, I really do hope I can get him moved. I don't know. I'm not saying it'll ever happen. I don't know if it ever will or not. But I can say at least I tried. And I'm not going to stop just because of a no. I'm going to keep on doing it year after year after year after year. I'm not going to stop doing it. I just feel like, somewhere someone's going to hear me and stand up with me and say, yes, this is wrong. So, those are my hopes anyway. But, so that's my journey with the TED thing and everything that I have basically done so far on it. And if anyone has any information that can help me out with it, and knowledge is great of what I'm doing wrong, or if I may not even be doing anything wrong. Maybe it's just takes a lot of time to get a political person to say you're right, and we need to change it. So that's kind of, I don't know if those are my hopes or not, but my hopes are the law gets changed, and my hopes are that Ted gets moved out of that cemetery and not be buried next to our true American heroes. I'm definitely not against the military by no means. I cherish everything that they do for us, and I just think that what he did is completely wrong. And one of the things that I don't understand is if he committed the act before he joined the military and had been caught doing it, he wouldn't have been able to join the military. If he committed the act while he was in the military, he would be kicked out and have a dishonorable discharge. But because he completed his term and he got out honorably, he gets to keep those honors despite what he did. And I have a hard time with that. I definitely don't understand that. So I feel like if you join the military to protect us, I mean, that should be a value you have forever. And I've had some people say, yeah, but he did his job, and he did it honorably, so while he was there, and you can't take the good away from the bad all the time. Well, he joined to serve and protect us, and then he came home and hurt us, and that's just not honorable at all. I mean, just not at all. So I have a hard time with that response, and I probably will forever. But everyone has their own opinions to this story, and I may not agree with it, and that's okay. That's why we all have our own opinions to so many different things. But I will respect that everybody has their own opinion, as long as I'm being respected that I have my own opinion too. So people can think how they want, and maybe we will never totally understand it, but that's okay. Maybe it's not ours to understand, and I just do what I feel right. I just do what I feel like is right in my heart, and that's what I have to be okay with. So anyway, so there is where I'm gonna stop tonight. I just decided to just keep everyone, I guess, posted about my journey there, and hopefully someone will hear me, and hopefully someone will be like, hey, you really need to do this, and that'll be my answer. So those are my hopes, and so yeah, feel free to contact me with any advice and any knowledge that I can use, and I'd really appreciate it. And I hope this little podcast finds you having a great evening, and finds you well, and I hope you have a blessed night. Thank you.